Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a motorcycle racing TV show, Team Chicago Challenge. My email is teamdan45@gmail.com. My website is teamchicago.tv, and it needs to be updated. I have to find some time to update it. So we're at MCC, that's Motorcycle Center. It's right here on St. Charles Road. We're about a half a mile west of 83. I was here last week to ride Royal Enfields. I'm here this week to ride BMWs. BMW's been making motorcycles going all the way back to the beginning of motorcycles, probably back to 1902, 1903. And they got a large selection of motorcycles now. It isn't just the vertical or horizontal twins. So huge selection. So when I was at the Freedom Run, I spotted a 1600 BMW cruising bike. So I had to come out and ride that. And I'm also going to ride the 1000RR, which is their race bike and sport bike. So I think I'm going to have a great time. I seen Johnny Jeff, he's the new owner here. He brought out the two brothers, Greg and Jeff. And I seen Johnny this morning. They went on a ride with a bunch of people up north. But we have the BMW truck here. So let's see what's going on at MCC Motorcycle Center in Villa Park. BMWs. And don't forget my email, teamdan45@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from your comments. It's a busy day at MCC. Johnny Jeff, the new owner, besides having the BMW truck here with demo rides, he's invited his customers from this shop and the shop in Chicago, Motoworks on Western Avenue, take a ride up to the Moto Museum, I believe, in Lake Forest. So there's two groups of people out here in the parking lot for MCC in Villa Park. We're now looking at the biggest BMW. This is the 1800 opposed twin touring bike. The bike I'm gonna ride, it's the Grand America K1600. But before we ride, we're going to hear from our ride leader, Anita Thomas.
Well, welcome. Thank you all for coming and enjoying us. Thank you for coming and riding our motorcycles. My name is Anita. This is Pete. We got Logan and Carlos over here. So somebody's going to be either Logan or Carlos will be out here directing traffic. So the way we work is we're going to go out into two separate groups, but we're going to ride in group staggered formation. So it'll be either myself or Pete, followed by a few riders, and then again myself or Pete, followed by a few riders. So again, we're going to ride in group staggered formation. As lead riders, we take the left general portion of the lane. The next rider will take the right, next rider to the left, next rider to the right, and so forth. So we're going to ride in that group staggered formation until we come to some of the twisties. When we get to the twisties, you guys can go ahead and spread out a little bit, get in a single line formation, or however you guys need to do to feel comfortable to ride through that section. But anytime we get into a straightaway, we would like you guys to go back to that staggered formation and keep the group nice and tight if we can. Anytime we come to a stoplight or a stop sign, we ask that you guys pair up, get wheel to wheel, because we would like to roll through any stop sign as one big happy family, traffic permitting. Some cars have been very courteous to us, some cars have not. So I'd rather you guys be a little bit more cautious than not. But if we can, again, we try to roll together as a group. If we happen to get separated by a light or by vehicles, the group leads, we'll find a safe place to pull off to the side of the road. We'll go ahead and wait for those cars to pass. Now, if you're behind a couple cars and you're coming up and seeing the group, we don't want you to pull over on the side of the road with us. Instead, we would like you to slow down, block the lane for us. Then on the left-hand side of the hand grip, there's in front of the left perch, there's a little trigger. It's a little toggle switch. What you're going to do is you're going to trigger it to flash the headlights at us to let us know, hey, we can pull right back out in front of you guys. We would like to come back in the order that we leave in. So that brings us some rules. Our rules are, please don't pass. The only time it's okay to pass is we understand these are new bikes, you guys. Our clutches can be a little difficult to master. So you're gonna have a point where it's like disengage, engage. It's a very small, fine friction zone. So if you're having trouble at a light and you end up stalling the bike, it's okay to pass somebody because we don't want to hold traffic up. But again, try to be courteous when you guys pass. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, so for the other rules that we have is we ask that you please be responsible. This is a demo ride. So we ask that you please keep both wheels on the ground at all times. So no wheelies, stoppies, burnouts, drifting, or a term we call slingshotting, which is like slowing down and then speeding up to catch the group. Again, if we keep a nice tight formation, we like to make the front parts fun. Okay. The other thing that we ask that you do is not to intentionally activate our ABS. So don't get on the gas and then grab a whole handful of brakes, because our bikes stop very quickly and the ABS works fantastically, but you're going to freak somebody out or get rear-ended. So we just ask that please don't intentionally activate those. Also, on a lot of our 2024 models, on the right-hand side of the handlebar, you are going to see an SOS button. It's a part of BMW's intelligent crash detection system. Please don't play with that. Once you touch the button, it's going to make a phone call, and so the phone call is going to go out. The operator's going to pick up and go, "Oh, we understand that there's some type of emergency. You're going to be playing with the bike, or going to be riding along, and the operator's going to say, 'Hey, are you okay?' You're not going to answer. Next thing you know, they're going to send a GPS tracker, and EMS is going to start following that bike. So don't play with the button. Now, if we're on the ride and the bike falls over." Something happens, bike goes over. It's also going to initiate a call. What we would like you to do is step away from the motorcycle, find a safe place to go stand. Either Pete or myself will come over, initiate that call, and pick that motorcycle up, and then we'll go on our merry way.
Do we turn it off first?
If possible, yes. Thank you. So, any questions so far? Everybody good? All right, now on your wristbands, you've been assigned a motorcycle. What we're going to ask you to do is please go find your motorcycle, put your helmet on the motorcycle, and then Pete and I are going to break up into 2 different groups and go over the controls. All right, go find your motorcycles.
As it nears 9 o'clock a.m., this group of riders are getting ready to leave at 9. I'm in the first group, but first we're going to hear from Pete Hepfling, the other ride leader.
Road and dynamic. We do recommend you start off in road, and if you want to change to dynamic, you can do that on the fly by cycling through this button with your right thumb. It will blink here, and then once it locks in like this, it'll go solid blue. That means you are in that. It will not engage the next mode unless there's no throttle input and no braking input. So you just roll off the throttle briefly, roll back in, and seamlessly goes to the other mode. If the bike is rolling and you want to upshift first, second, third, right up through sixth, you just stay in the throttle and just click it up, and it'll rev match, the computer rev matches the engine transmission, does so seamlessly. It's a very nice feature. If you're not used to it and you want to give it a try, by all means do so. If you're not comfortable with it or you don't want to try it, you can shift with the clutch every time you use it. There's most motorcycles out right now. There's no switch to engage that. It's there all the time, so it's at your disposal if you want to give it a try. On the flip side of that, for downshift, you want to be completely out of the throttle, and you can downshift all the way down to the first gear.
And now we could see Pete leading the group heading east on St. Charles Road. It's approximately 1/2 mile to Route 83. As we go past the front of MCC, we are in Villa Park, Illinois. It's a beautiful day in June. I should point out, it was 2 weeks ago when I rode the Royal Enfield motorcycles. This is a huge motorcycle. Maybe the biggest motorcycle I have ever ridden, as we see the group that are heading north to Lake Forest, riding with Johnny Geoff, customers from this shop, MCC, and customers from Motoworks in Chicago on Western Avenue. We now turn south on Route 83. This is a very powerful motorcycle. The engine is 1649 cc's. It makes 160 horsepower. We have now moved ahead. We're going to go through the Cloverleaf to go eastbound on Roosevelt Road. This will give me an opportunity to feel how this heavy bike goes around a nice smooth right-hander. I'm really getting to like this bike. Got plenty of power, very comfortable, handles great. And now we're going past the Tower Building in Oak Brook Terrace. And we're going to head east on Roosevelt Road, pick up the speed. Most of the bikes in this group are cruiser bikes, touring bikes. Got a 6-speed transmission. You don't need to use the clutch to upshift or downshift. Jumped ahead a little bit. Now we're exiting at County Line Road. We're going to go southbound. Maybe a block or so. A nice twisty exit ramp. Giving me the opportunity to feel this bike through left and right hand corners. And lucky for us, we're catching the green light as we make this right hand turn that will take us to the frontage road, and we'll head back west. Bike makes it around the corners very nice. We pick up the speed. We're doing approximately 50 miles an hour, giving me the opportunity to feel this bike through the twisties. If you're riding on the back roads across America, now we're back by MCC. I make a right-hand turn into the parking lot for MCC. And after this ride, I had the chance to talk to Jeff Sulwer. He also rode one of these 1600 BMWs, and we're going to compare notes.
My name's Jeff Sulwer, and I just took this 1600 for a ride. And I'm used to a sport bike, so when I got on this bike, it took a little while to get used to it because it's heavier, and the ride is spongier on it. It's not as firm, and horsepower isn't the same as that bike, but the comfort level is 10 times better than the VFR 800.
Right. Well, the thing is, I never ride on the street. As most people see my TV show, I ride Toys for Tots, and I just rode the Freedom Run a couple of weeks ago. So I rode the 1600 GA, and it's incredibly fast. I mean, it's probably could easily do 150 miles an hour all day long.
Yeah.
It was intimidating to me because it's probably the heaviest bike I've ever rode. I mean, I've had Triumphs. You know, I was here last week and I rode the Royal Enfield, the 650 Twin, but the weight was a little intimidating. Is that what you also feel?
Yeah, that's my first reaction. It was took a while to get used to. When I first got on the bike, I was a little bit scared of it, but by the time we went through the 15-minute ride, when I got back, I was first thought in my mind was, oh, we're back so soon. I want to keep riding. It's fun.
Right. Oh no, with this type of bike, you could honestly believe you could ride across the country.
Oh, yeah, easy. Yeah. I didn't want to get off the bike. I wanted to go for another ride.
Right. Well, I'm going to ride the 1000 next because I've never rode the BMW over Yamaha R1s. I've raced R6s. I mean, I probably have more miles racing Yamahas All in all, I've raced over 40,000 miles in my life. Yeah, I started racing at Santa Fe Speedway, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not there any longer.
No. But in
It's a shame, yeah.
1970 was the first time I seen a motorcycle race. By 72, I had my pro license, and the rest is history.
Yeah, we used to watch the flat track racing in the dirt over at Santa Fe.
Oh, yeah,
Many
the
years
short
ago.
track stuff, right.
Yeah, it was. We get a bunch of us who would get together on. I think it was
Wednesday night.
Wednesday
right,
nights.
exactly.
Then they had the demolition derbies.
On Friday, at Santa Fe, Saturday and Sunday was Howard's late model program.
Yeah.
Friday night was special events. Wednesday night was motorcycles, and it started at the end of May and went all the way through September, or into May. No, not into the beginning of September. So there'd be like 16 professional races.
Wow.
And then on Friday nights is when they had the special. So they would have demolition derbies. They would have sprint cars would come in, or we would race TT. Now, TTs was one of my favorite. In fact, this year I'm going to Peoria. I'm going to race. They got an amateur TT, so I'm racing Peoria again this year.
Good.
Yeah,
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah. So I have no idea how much these things cost when he's 1,600. I think they're around 30.
I was afraid to ask. I was going to ask our dealer if it's hard to get up on the center stand. So I don't know if it's assisted or not. You know, I was just wondering how hard would it be to get this thing up on the center.
Right.
So it might be hard for an older guy. You know.
Right. So what's first bike? What bike do you normally ride now?
The 2007 VFR 800. It's a Honda.
Yes.
And that thing's a rocket.
Right.
Compared to this.
Right.
And even though it has half the CCs,
right.
You know, I still feel I know it's faster. You'll blow this thing out because I think this thing must weigh close to 700 pounds or so.
Easily. I was intimidated by the weight.
Yeah. But otherwise, it was a lot of fun.
I don't want to drop no motorcycle.
No. you need a crane to get that thing back up.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, Jeff, for the great feedback. As we look at the service department at MCC, you see the American flag, the British flag, the flag for the Isle of Man. You can see this is a huge service department. They service their bikes, Triumphs, Ducatis, MV Agustas, Royal Enfields, KTM, and Husqvarnas. As we spot their dyno, and there's nothing better for fine tuning, for high performance tuning, than having a dyno to put the bikes on. We can see they have some great customers that trust them with very fine motorcycles. We see this MV Agusta, a very rare motorcycle, and a Honda BF1000R that's got gear-driven internals. If these customers know they get great service here, I'm pretty sure that you could trust your bike in this service department. As we take a look in the showroom, nicely laid out. It looks like it's a great day. And now we're going to get back to riding motorcycles. I get to ride the S1000RR. Anita Thomas is going to give the final information talk before we head out on this 15-mile loop.
They're just hidden. So your ignition button, you'll find it right here in the center. Press it. If it's not here in the center, it'll be located on the right-hand side. If it's on the right-hand side, it'll say PWR, followed by a little circle. Press that. It'll light up your TFT. So your TFT screen is going to light up these two blinking lights. It's just your ABS and traction control. It's just there to remind you this bike comes equipped with that. Some motorcycles also come equipped with a tire monitoring system, so it'll also be included in that. Once you guys get over 2 miles an hour, the computer will calibrate and those will stop blinking at you. So easiest thing to do to start the motorcycle, leave it on the side stand, find neutral, come over to this nice big red button, press down. up and away will cut the engine. If the motorcycle is in gear and the side stand is down, the motorcycle will not start. So, you also have adjustable ride modes. So, when you switch over, if you decide to ride in dynamic, dynamic will give you the quickest throttle response. Our computer will adjust and it will stiffen up the suspension, and the computer will adjust for ABS and traction control. If you do not like that really responsive throttle, just switch this over to road mode. Road mode will soften the throttle response, soften the suspension, and the computer will adjust for ABS and traction control.
Thank you, Anita, for that extra information. And now I'm on the S1000RR. We're exiting Route 83 at Roosevelt Road. We're running a good clip. I get to see how this race bike, street legal race bike, handles on this nice sweeping right-hander, part of the clover leaf here at Roosevelt Road. We're going to pick up the pace a little bit, but let me take a look at this bike. It's an inline 4-cylinder. The bore is 3.15 inches. The stroke is 1.96, so it's a very short stroke engine. 999 cc's, 205 horsepower at 1300 RPM. The structure of this engine is similar to the Yamaha R6 because the transmission is vertically stacked. To keep the engine short, it's got 13-to-1 compression ratio. It's a very lovely street legal race bike. Anita's riding at 1800 horizontal twin as we pass these cars and open it up on Roosevelt Road. I'm tucking in a little bit. This bike feels like a race bike. Clip-ons, rear sets. I feel very comfortable, very much at home. As another bike goes past us, not part of our group. And now we're exiting at County Line Road. Get to go through these twisties on the exit ramp at a good clip. And lucky for us again, we're catching the green light. Swing it wide. It's almost a continuous right-hand corner, nice tight swing here. We pick up the speed again. Well, I would love to take this bike on a racetrack, put a good set of tires on it, and had the opportunity to open it up. The one thing I learned today is BMW offers a great amount of variety, different bikes. And this bike here, the S1000RR, is the same bike that they race in the World SuperBike across Europe and the world, and Moto USA. Check them out at MotoAmerica. Anita's riding that big 1800 touring bike, twin cylinder, horizontal engine. I am having a great time as we come to the stop sign here. Anita looks back to see if everybody's in line. The weather is absolutely perfect. We'll come to this hard left turn. Get to see how this bike goes through the corners. I am having a great time. Now we're jump ahead. We're headed north on 83. We're going to exit at Roosevelt Road again and go westbound. This bike is exactly as I would want it to feel. It is a great day as we ride from Villa Park through Elmhurst, Oak Brook Terrace, and Oak Brook. And every great thing must come to an end sometime as we head west on Roosevelt Road. We're going to turn right at Villa Avenue, head back to MCC. I had a great day thanks to Johnny Chef and Jeff, Greg, the former owners, longtime friends of mine. For more information on BMW motorcycles, it's bmwmotorcycles.com. On Facebook, it's BMW Motorrad. And a special thanks to Anita and Pete. They were just great. As we head through Villa Park on Villa Avenue and head back to MCC. To contact me, and I love to hear from my audience, it's teamdan45@gmail.com. Remember, you can always search on YouTube with Dan Schmitt Motorcycle Racing for great motorcycle racing action. Dan Schmitt Politics to learn what makes America great. And I highly encourage you to visit the World Motorcycle Museum. They're in Winamac, Indiana, 4 miles south of North Judson on Indiana Highway 39. Give them a call first at 574-896-3172. It's a great trip and a great collection of motorcycles. And to pick up your copy of the Team Chicago History Package, go to Rich's Yamaha in Lockport, Illinois. They're on Archer Avenue, and give them a call first at 815-838-8130. Their website is richesyamaha.com. Pick up your history package. If you want to learn more about motorcycles, the best way to learn about the history is to go to a swap meet. My good friend Buzz Walnick has a great number of swap meets. Here's a few dates that you can go to, see, and buy. And then a few races coming up, Wauseon, Ashland, and Peoria.